we predicted. We came down to this major support level at 44,800 US dollars before seeing a very nice bounce to the upside, and now we face a major resistance level with this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. I want to talk about exactly what price targets I'm looking at for Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at Ethereum. As you can see, we saw a very bullish move and a bounce at this 50-day moving average. However, when we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we are below all three moving averages. I want to talk about the implications of this on the Ethereum price, and then we'll look at Bitcoin dominance, as for the first time since we saw altcoin season start, we are finding support at the top of this Ichimoku cloud, and now we are potentially starting a bullish Bitcoin dominance phase. I want to talk about exactly what this means for altcoins. As you can see, we're also above this weekly open right now, coming to test it as we speak, and then we'll look at some traditional markets. Of course, the DXY is still in a consolidation zone, but when we look at what's happening to international markets, we can look here at the Hong Kong international market seeing a major correction. I want to talk about the implications of this, as well as the S&P 500 is also starting to slide. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Obeidi. If you appreciate this content, remember to like this video. We are doing this live today for the first time in a very long time. I'm excited to be with you guys here live. I will still have our daily updates, but if you appreciate these live videos, remember to subscribe to our channel and smash that like button. We'll take some questions from our audience as well later in the video, but first I want to talk about exactly what's happening to Bitcoin. As you can see, we saw a major bounce at the exact level that we predicted in our video yesterday, and at this point, if Bitcoin is able to continue to the upside and break past this major resistance, there is a potential we could see a continuation to the upside for Bitcoin, and that's exactly what I'm waiting for right now. When we look at what's happening to the Bitcoin price, if we pull up this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, what you'll notice is we are finding confluence here with this structural resistance level and this major resistance for the Ichimoku cloud. If we start to come above this and break this major level sitting right at that $52,600 area, if we are able to get above that, there is a potential Bitcoin can come back up to retest the weekly open at 57,400 US dollars. However, if we see a rejection at this Ichimoku cloud, the major level to watch is going to be 48,500. Just like we talked about yesterday in our video, this was a major level, and you can see it acted as a resistance level as we saw Bitcoin starting to cool off from this dump, and our levels have been exactly to the exact price target. As soon as we broke this level, we started to see other altcoins see some very nice gains. And so, in my opinion, these levels stand very true to be extremely important for the Bitcoin price right now, and we will be watching those extremely important levels. And of course, if this level here at 48,500 US dollar breaks, there is a potential we can come back to test 44,800, which was the top during this Elon Musk pump, and that's why that was a very key level for me. If we come for a third time to knock on the door, I've always told you guys this, once you knock on the door once, twice, and a third time, it typically will break, and the next target would be 41,950, the previous all-time high before we started to consolidate. Of course, if we get to that level, it wouldn't be the best for Bitcoin in order to assume a continuation to the upside over the next couple of weeks. So I don't want to see 41,950, and I really don't want to see 44,800 break, because if that happens, that could be very detrimental for the Bitcoin price action in the next coming weeks, due to the fact that that would potentially put us in a longer term consolidation phase. And so it is extremely important right now that we get back above this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, and we get back above this resistance level sitting right at that $52,600 level for Bitcoin, and that will assume that we can see a continuation to the upside. When we look at volume for Bitcoin, we do have these two large sell candles here, but realize that at this point we did see this dump, and it already came down a very large amount. I believe it was over 23% of a correction. That is a very large correction, and it's very similar to the correction that we saw earlier in this year when we saw Bitcoin top out here. You can see this correction alone was around that 26% area. And so right now, there is a potential Bitcoin can start consolidating in this range. If that happens, that to me would be the best case scenario. If we stay above 41,950 and stay around the $48,500 range, that would be very positive for altcoins. So that's what we're going to be watching. I'll take some questions from our live audience as well. I know we have DJ on, Master Els, Ryan, JRM O'Brien. Thank you guys for being on the live stream. Remember to smash those like buttons in order to help our channel grow. But we'll now take a look at what's happening to the total cryptocurrency market cap. You can see with the total cryptocurrency market, we're seeing a little bit of a different scenario here where we did not see the price action necessarily find much of a support level here at the monthly open. We dodged this monthly open, and so that to me is a very bullish sign, the fact that we didn't come down to the monthly open when we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap. I'm sorry, this was Ethereum. That's why I was a little bit confused. When we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, this is exactly what I wanted to show you guys. So we came down to this 100 period moving average on the 4-hour chart, and now we are above the previous weekly open, which is extremely positive in my opinion. So it is very good right now that we are above this previous weekly open. We don't want to see the total cryptocurrency market cap come below $1.465 trillion, because if that's the case, it could be a more elongated phase of a downtrend. And so this is a major level for the total cryptocurrency market cap. I do want to talk about exactly what's happening to Ethereum. For those inside of our Discord premium group, I sent a signal out to buy Ethereum here, a low risk signal at 1475, and that was my exact entry. For those that aren't getting my exact trades, the link is in the description below for our Discord premium group. I send out every single trade I make, as well as our analysts. Actually, if we look at today, our analysts had some very nice trades on Apple and NEO, the electric car company, which was really cool when it comes to our stock signals. But for those not in the Discord, the link is in the description below. 1475 was my exact entry because of the fact that we had this major support level here for Ethereum, and that was showing confluence here with this 200 period moving average on the 6-hour chart. And then on top of that, we had the previous all-time high at 1440, and so this was a very nice zone in my opinion to enter a long position for Ethereum. You can see we're seeing the bounce. However, I am a bit concerned about the long-term potential for Ethereum right now, being the fact that the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is below all 3 moving averages right now. And the fact of the matter is, the Binance Smart Chain is having effect on Ethereum, because that's exactly when we started to see this dip down. We saw the rejection at the 200-week moving average. And so in my opinion, we have to take into account the fundamentals of what's happening right now, because of the fact that technicals are 10%, fundamentals are also 10% when it comes to trading. And then the larger part of that is the psychology, the 80%. And for those that want to win one of my favorite books on trading psychology, I'm actually going to pick a winner on this live stream. I see we have Nick and Abraham on. Good to have you guys on the live stream. I will pick a winner at the end of this video to win one of my favorite books on investing. I'll give out trading psychology, since we're already talking about psychology. And make sure to post all of your questions inside of the chat so I can address them for you guys. But when we look at Ethereum, I really want to see the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart get above these 100 and 200 period moving averages. If we're not able to get above that, there could be a potential rejection and a continuation to the downside. When we look at what's happening to Ethereum dominance, which is a little bit of a different chart, what you'll notice is we are actually breaking some major levels for Ethereum dominance. Usually I would have these charts already pulled up, but of course they are not here. So when we look at Ethereum dominance, let's go ahead and see if we can pull up the Ethereum dominance chart. Bam, ETH.D. What you'll notice is when we look at what's happening to, I'm sorry guys, this is live, so it's a little bit different for me. So when we look at what's happening here to the Fibonacci retracement, we actually broke a very key Fibonacci level, the 0.618. We saw this massive correction, and now we are below this 0.618 level. In my opinion, that is also a bearish sign for Ethereum dominance in the total cryptocurrency market cap. But when we look at others' dominance, we are above the previous weekly open, which is extremely positive, and we are above the new weekly open, which I think is a very good thing for Ethereum dominance right now. So we want to stay above this previous weekly open, sitting right at that 10.28% dominance level, and that could allow altcoins to also run up if Bitcoin Bitcoin is able to break this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud resistance level, as I've been telling you guys about, because we need to get above this. It's the first time that we've come below this since the Elon Musk pump, and we know the last time we saw consolidation was when Bitcoin finally came down below the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, and that caused a elongated period of consolidation. And so I wouldn't mind Bitcoin consolidating in this area. Some people have asked me, do you think we have a top? The reason I haven't yet called in a top is because we have yet to come down to the previous all-time high at 41,950. If we come down to that previous all-time high, that could potentially be an indicator of a top. So that's what I'm watching in order to determine whether or not we have a Bitcoin top. But if we consolidate in here, Others dominance is already looking really good. That could be very positive for altcoins, as Others dominance is about to form a new high. And of course, we know a lot of liquidity is flowing into altcoins. These are actually some of my favorite altcoins. Here's my list for those that have been asking about my altcoin list. You can see we're seeing a very nice green day for altcoins. So I will take some requests from our audience. I see we have Amado, Arash, and Keith on our live stream. Good to have you guys on. I won't always do live streams because I know you guys appreciate those very short content videos, but I do want to always be able to interact with each and every one of you guys, so it means a lot that you guys watch my videos, and so I wanted to make sure to bring this live stream to you guys, and we'll take some questions at the end of this video. The DXY just consolidating very nicely here. I'm not too concerned about that, but when we do look at traditional markets, I do have a bit of a concern here, as we are starting to see international markets falter. We're below the weekly open in the Japanese traditional markets right now, and we actually basically could have predicted this Bitcoin dump when we saw the Hong Kong traditional markets down 3% one day out of nowhere. It was the only traditional market that was down, and so these have a lot of effects on the Bitcoin market cap and the price, because of course Bitcoin is an international asset. And so you can see Hong Kong markets are coming down to this monthly open. That's going to be interesting to watch to see if we come to test this 50-day moving average. And same with the S&P 500. We came right to that 50-day moving average, but we've yet to come and touch that and retest that. But we are below the weekly open, so we do have to keep note of that. The next support would be the monthly open. And then gold, of course, is seeing a little bit of strength, and that sometimes happens when there's uncertainty in other markets. And so this is extremely important to watch. I do want to take some questions from our live audience. I see we have Abraham on. Let's see, Craigslist is on. Who else is on our live stream? Let's go ahead and give some shout outs, and I will take some requests to look at charts from some altcoins. I see we have Jake Alvarez on. He says, I'm holding 790 ETH. I will sell at 2,500. Why only at 2,500? Why don't you sell at 10,000, right? If you're that bullish about Ethereum. But realize with Ethereum, in my opinion, the reason we're starting to see a lot of weakness in Ethereum, I was extremely bullish throughout this whole period. We broke this major level, but then the Binance Smart Chain came into the equation. You have to remember, fundamentals matter in a ever-evolving market like the cryptocurrency market right now. You have to keep in mind that these markets are changing so fast, and so the Binance Smart Chain is really taking up a lot of room right now from the DeFi space. If we look at DeFiPulse.com, this is the amount of liquidity locked up into Ethereum smart contracts. It is actually coming down right now for the first time in a very long time. And when we look at the Binance Smart Chain, you can see that there are some smart contracts that have over $4 billion locked into them, like the Venus protocol. And then we look at some of the competitors to Uniswap, like PancakeSwap, and they're seeing billions of dollars in volume. People just don't want to pay the Ethereum fees. So in that case, the fundamentals can change immediately. And yes, Ethereum is more decentralized. It's actually the only decentralized DeFi system out there, because the Binance Smart Chain is very centralized, as Binance owns all of the nodes that run the Binance Smart Chain. But people really aren't factoring in the centralized and decentralized aspect of it right now. But I think with the political uncertainty that we've seen in the US recently, I think that a lot of people will eventually prefer decentralized systems over centralized systems. They just need to start understanding it more. And Bitcoin is really the first exposure of that to most people. And then they start to understand the other aspects of it. But that's why I think we're seeing some weakness with Ethereum's price right now. We really got to get above these 200 and 100 period moving averages for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, because this flag already broke down big time. We're below the weekly open. And the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is way more important than the Ethereum to US dollar chart right now. And so This is very important to watch. We look at actually BNB. So we'll just look at the competitor. It's doing the exact opposite. So it falls in line with my thesis that a lot of people are transitioning away from Ethereum because of the high gas fees. And look, they're coming to Binance, and we're seeing a huge influx of growth with the Binance coin. If we actually pull up ETH against BNB, we can actually do BNB against ETH. This shows you the exact comparison. Notice how we're at all-time highs with the BNB price against Ethereum. And this is exactly when we started to see Ethereum's value against Bitcoin come down. And so the fundamentals are here. The fact of the matter is, yes, I was slightly bullish on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart when we were coming down because it was a very bullish break. But the fact of the matter is, just because my technicals were bullish didn't mean the fundamentals had to fall in line with that. And the fundamentals changed. And once that changed, it also reflects now on the chart. And so you have to understand the fundamentals. And don't sit here and tell me that we saw this coming in January. Nobody saw the Binance Smart Chain and Pancake Swap coming in January because the platforms weren't even made, right? Like, for example, Auto Farm, it's the competitor to Yearn.finance. They just launched February 1st. And so this is a very ever-changing environment that has to stay, you have to stay updated on because it could affect the price of coins. And so that's what I think is happening to Ethereum. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the chat. I see we have Tuton on, GoPro, One Seed, Avid on the live stream. Good to have you guys. If you appreciate these live streams, remember to smash that like button, and I will be giving away a book at the end of this live stream to maybe a couple of you guys that answer our questions, or maybe you have a thought-provoking question that you want to ask. Put it into the chat, and I'll choose some of you guys at the end of the video to win Trading Psychology, one of my favorite books on investing. But that's what I think is happening to Ethereum, because when we look at Bitcoin dominance right now, we're not seeing Bitcoin falter. We're seeing Bitcoin just kind of smooth right here, just kind of it's having a cup of coffee right below this 200 period moving average. If Bitcoin gets above this 200 period moving average, that could be concerning for altcoins. And so we really have to watch this chart. I think the biggest thing, let me ask myself a question. How about that? Naeem, what is the most important thing to watch right now in the crypto market? In my opinion, it's Bitcoin dominance against altcoins right now, because you either have money in Bitcoin or you have money in altcoins, right? And so we need to know which one is going to continue into an uptrend, and that all has to do with Bitcoin dominance and others' dominance right now. And so with Bitcoin dominance, we really need to get above this 200 period moving average if we want to see the dominance for Bitcoin increase. But I don't necessarily want to see that. I'd rather see Bitcoin stay down in this range and consolidate, because one thing that has surprised me and a lot of people is the fact that Bitcoin's price has been able to see all of this upside while its dominance hasn't increased. It's just had a cup of coffee at this lower level between that 60% and 64% dominance area. And the fact that Bitcoin can go up in price while dominance stays stagnant like that, I think is very positive for the future of others' dominance, because that says that if you have a good project and you're in the crypto space, you have the potential of seeing capital come into your project, and that means that there are some other projects that could come into the top 10 that aren't yet in the top 10, and that's going to be very good for others' dominance. Really, if we come to this resistance and break, that would be the real confirmation of a major altcoin season, because that would surpass every other altcoin season that we've ever had. And so we actually called the exact start of altcoin season, if you guys have followed our channel for some time, right at the start of January. So we've been really on top of this chart. For those not subscribed to our channel, remember to subscribe to our channel, and I will be taking some questions from our live audience, but I do want to summarize my analysis on Bitcoin. I know a lot of you guys have asked me about Bitcoin. So as I've mentioned earlier in the video, the 4-hour Ichimoku resistance is my short-term confirmation for Bitcoin's bullish scenario. However, at this point, if we stay below this resistance level and we flirt with 48,500 and come back here, that might not be a good sign for Bitcoin, as that could allow altcoins to see some room to the upside, but then eventually we could see Bitcoin continue on a slow downtrend. But remember that $41,950 area is the area I don't want to see get breached for Bitcoin at this point. And so that's extremely key to watch at this point. And I would like to take some questions from our audience here, and then we will wrap up this stream. I didn't want to take too much of your guys' time here. Let's see. Jonathan Hines says, what projects do you see coming into the top 10? I think one thing we want to watch is these Binance Smart Chain projects. And so when we look at CoinMarketCap, what you'll notice is if we look at some of these projects like Auto Farm, for example, Auto Farm is the Yearn.finance of the Binance Smart Chain. It's ranked 276 with a less than $100 million market cap, but they have over $4 billion locked up inside of their protocol. I think coins like this could potentially come into the top 10 here very soon. We look at PancakeSwap. This is the competitor to Uniswap. They're already seeing billions of dollars in volume. They already have a $1.5 billion market cap, ranked number 48. But when you compare that to Uniswap, let's see, Uniswap currently ranked number 12, $8 billion. So that's an 8x increase for PancakeSwap if it takes over. And once again, I think that the Ethereum developers said that in April there might be the launch of the EIP upgrade, which could help with fees, but that might not be enough time, because at that point we could see more liquidity flow away from Ethereum smart contracts, as we've seen the trend start already into the Binance Smart Chain contracts. And it really just depends on how fast Ethereum can get to the plate and update their smart contracts to not have crazy gas fees, right? Because people just don't like those gas fees. So great question. I'll take another question from our live audience, and then at the end of this video we will give away one of my favorite books on investing, trading psychology, to one of you guys in the chat watching the video today. Let's see. Loey says, ETH done on balls deep. Well, I'm not saying it's completely done right now, but we do want to address the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart right now being slightly bearish, as we are below all three of those major moving averages, breaking some major structural levels. And then when we look at the Ethereum dominance chart, once again, we broke all of the major Fibonacci retracement levels that would indicate a bullish reversal. First, you want to see at least a 3.8 retracement. We didn't see that. Then you have the 0.5, which isn't even a Fibonacci retracement, but you'll sometimes see a bounce. We did see a small bounce there, but then really that 0.618, if that doesn't hold, coming down to the 0.786 as a bullish reversal doesn't necessarily seem like the best route to take, in my opinion, and that's just technical analysis. And so things for Ethereum dominance right now are not in its favor due to the Binance Smart Chain, in my opinion. And so hopefully that answers your question. Remember to smash the like button. We have 100 likes already. If you guys appreciate this content, we have 400 viewers, so we should have 400 likes at this point. It really helps our channel. And thank you so much for 41,000 subscribers. We just hit 41,000. That means a lot. And I was talking to Charles Hoskinson recently, and we might have another interview with Charles soon, and talking about Cardano. And I may actually even go to his ranch and do it in person. So stay tuned for that. If you guys haven't seen my interview with Charles Hoskinson yet, it's on my YouTube channel. It is an amazing 1-hour interview that I had with his lead quant as well. So make sure to check that out on our channel. It is a very good interview, and it really will give you an understanding if you're trying to invest into things outside of Bitcoin. This interview was all about crypto investing. Since we have the largest cryptocurrency trading group in the world, we made sure that our topic was specifically crypto investing. And so he actually had his lead quant from IOHK, which is the foundation that oversees Cardano, on that interview. And so it's a great interview to learn from for those that haven't yet watched it. Let's take some more questions from our live audience. Denise, good to have you on. She says, if we're new to the game, what's the best way to learn how to read these charts? The best thing, in my opinion, is number one, if you're not inside of our Discord premium group, the link is in the description below. We do have a full course, and we also have a lot on our Discord that you will get access to, that I specifically hired 2 very successful 7-figure Forex traders, since Forex is one of the oldest markets in the world. And the principles of technical analysis actually apply not just to crypto, but also to stocks and Forex. So I had 2 very successful Forex traders that were 7-figure traders that specifically taught in person how to read charts, and they taught technical analysis. I had them actually teach our course, and so our course videos are very good on that. And so I would look into that. But a free resource that you can use that I really like is Baby Pips. So Baby Pips is a very cool resource that you can use, and it's free. And once again, it says Forex trading, but technical analysis is universal, and I personally believe that learning it with Forex is the best way to do it. because the Forex markets are trillions and trillions of dollars, of course, and they have the real fundamental principles that you need to understand when it comes to trading. And really, it's three things. Number one, it's market structure, right? Market structure is key. I'll talk about this Ethereum long that we took yesterday. I took my entry here at 14.75 and I dollar cost average, ended up getting an entry even at 13.95. And this was a low risk trade that I sent to our Discord premium group. You can see most of our trades have high risk. Of course, if they're altcoins, they have high risk. Oh, look, we hit one stop. We haven't hit a stop loss in a very long time. Most of our trades actually don't hit stop loss, as you guys can see. But what you'll notice is with this specific trade, I had an entry here at 14.75, right at this red line. And the reason I had this entry was because of the fact that when we were dumping yesterday, I knew that we had confluence here with a lot of levels. Not only did we have the daily 50 period moving average there as a major support level, but we also had this ascending support level. And then we also had the previous all-time high at 1440. And so I took that entry at 1475. That has already ended up being the bottom for Ethereum, of course. And so number one is you want to understand market structure. That's why this support level was key for me, right? Number two, overall trend. What is the overall trend? We know the overall trend, the macro, is bullish. So I wasn't doubting a long position when we were down 20% in a macro bull trend, right? And then thirdly is price action. You want to trade when there's price action. And that's why when we were trading here, you can see if we were to go to these smaller time frames, we'll even go to a 1 minute time frame, we took this trade when there was a lot of volume coming in, right? So we sent this trade out here at the blue. Notice how the volume is very different here than it was here. So those are the three main aspects when it comes to trading and technical analysis, Denise. So I hope that answers your questions. And in our course, I actually think you are a premium member, Denise. So you have access to our course. That's the best place you can go to learn technical analysis, because it'll talk about market structure, trend lines, and so forth. So hopefully that will help. Let's take anyone's. PJ says, what coin do you recommend for altcoin season? Once again, I recommend the coins that are trying to take over the DeFi revolution using the Binance Smart Chain, because we're seeing a ton of liquidity flow away from Ethereum into the Binance Smart Chain. So that's the answer to the altcoin question. So those are protocols like Venus, PancakeSwap, AutoFarm, Beefy.finance is coming up. They have, I think, 400 million total value locked right now. And so I think those are critical. And then we look at what's happening with the Ethereum DeFi projects. Compound and Aave are losing liquidity. So it's a little bit different. Let's see. Denise says, thank you. Yes, I am. Will do. Awesome. Lo says, this guy is really good. Man, our video yesterday predicted everything on the dot. Wasn't that amazing? Like, we literally said we were going to come down. I don't even know why the level isn't here no more, but we had our level here at 44,800. That was drawn out. I think I removed it earlier, but we literally came exactly to our price target here, 44,800. I told you guys this was a major level to watch. We bounced here, and then we came to our exact target. I even told you guys I didn't want to see 41,950 because it was a previous all-time high. I didn't want to see that. I really didn't want to see that, and I didn't see it. And so that's good, right? That's good for Bitcoin right now. But what we need right now for a confirmation that this was the bottom of this dip is this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. You can see we are coming up to test that right now. If this rejects, that could be detrimental, and really, I wouldn't be surprised if we did come up even a little bit into it, but then we have this major level to watch, and that's why that $52,600 area, as I said earlier in the video, is my key level for a confirmation. And once again, a confirmation, if you guys understand, is we break the level, we retest it, we close hourly and 4-hour candles above it, and that's the confirmation. So this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud is critical. If we come back down, hopefully we hold 48,500. If that doesn't hold, then of course we could potentially come back down to 44,800. That would not be a good sign, because once again, you knock on the door 3 times and it changes, right? The playbook changes. So let's see here. Tryan says, which website do you use when mining crypto? I don't mine crypto. So Census says, will Ethereum hit 10,000 this year? I think there's a potential, but if it keeps going the way it's going, that might not happen, especially with Binance Smart Chain. We really have to see the fundamentals change and come to the favor of Ethereum, because really people are super excited about DeFi, and then Binance comes in and says, okay, well, we'll take the fees away and we'll create a side chain, right? And so that's really having an impact fundamentally on Ethereum right now. Let's see here. Luis says, could you look at the Litecoin chart? I might take a look at some altcoins at the end of this. I want to see if there's any other videos or questions here outside of technical analysis. Chris Koss says, could the whipsaw action be to prevent people from margin trading? Of course, people are always, getting liquidated in this market. And so a lot of that has to do with liquidations. And let's see, hidden bullish divergence on BNB. Wonderful. I'm going to give away a book to one of you guys watching this video right now. One of my favorite books on trading psychology is called Trading Psychology, the Bible for Traders. If you guys want to win this book, all you have to do is say something in the chat and I will just pick a random person from the chat. And remember to like the video and subscribe. And let's just go ahead and pick some people. So Garrett Houlet, you've been in our group for over 3 years. You want a book? Go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. Let's see who else. Mark Olson, I've seen you around for the last 3 years as well. You want a book? Go ahead, send me a message on Instagram. Any thoughts on tax implications for day trading with the news about the IRS looking into it? I would say there are a lot of softwares that you can use, but talk to your accountant for better advice on that. Let's see here. Denise, you want a book? Go ahead and send me a message on Instagram and I'll get you that book. And then we'll pick a couple other winners as we wrap up this video. One thing I do want to talk about really quick is realize that with the DXY right now, we are at a very critical level. And so if the dollar value starts to strengthen, realize that was the indicator of the end of the bull market in 2017. So in 2017, Bitcoin hit 20,000. We saw the dollar value plummet down to this exact area that we are currently consolidating at. This is the DXY, which is the dollar value against all other major currencies. It doesn't factor in some of the smaller countries and their currencies, but it does factor in the British pound, the euro, of course, and so forth. And so the fact that we are at the same level that we are at right now in January 2018 when Bitcoin topped out for the US dollar value is very important to me, I think, in order to determine whether we've found a local top or not. And so if this support level breaks at 89.5 for the DXY, that could be very positive for Bitcoin. But if we come above this 100 period moving average right at that 91.3 area right now, that could indicate a reversal in the DXY as we start to see interest rates potentially increase. I know we've heard talk of that. I think that's why we're seeing a little bit of a pullback in traditional markets. And so it's very critical to watch this chart, as this was an indicator of the bottom in 2017. And so I think that that is very important right now as well to keep track of and monitor. And so let's see who else is asking questions. Steven Charles says, new subscriber here. I'm here for the long run. Awesome, man. Thank you. Ryan says, Ethereum or Cardano? Well, if you want, watch my interview with the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson. It's on my YouTube channel, and that'll give you an idea of what my thoughts are. I had an interview with Charles, had the chance of flying out. His business partner, Brock, actually, who founded EOS, flew out myself and my business partner in his private jet to Wyoming when he was running for president of the United States of America. And Charles and I had a chance of spending the weekend together in this very beautiful resort, and it was an amazing time. I actually will be most likely going and visiting him at his ranch to do another follow-up interview. But Cardano is a very, very great project, of course. I'm not saying that because I'm friends with Charles, but I have a lot of connections in this space, of course, as you guys know, and we have the largest crypto trading group in the world, the most successful, and so that's given a lot of opportunities to myself and some of our team members. Let's see. Do an interview with Warren, he says. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. I did want to do a live stream. If you guys like these live streams, it's a little bit different for me. Remember to smash the like button, and that will show me that you guys appreciate these, and I will continue to do more of them if that's the case. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much more I want to cover right now. Very critical time for Bitcoin to get above that Ichimoku cloud resistance level. And unless we have any other questions, Lynette says, what exchange are you trading DOT on in California? Well, I am in California right now. However, what I will say about exchanges is I got liquidated yesterday on Kraken. And I typically hold positions overnight only if I have a very solid entry and a stop loss, of course. And I had a very nice position for Ethereum to the US dollar that I've held for a very long time in profits. And then we saw a flash crash on the Kraken exchange. It was the only exchange to see this flash crash yesterday, with Ethereum coming down to 700 US dollars. And that liquidated a lot of people, right? And so there's a class action lawsuit for this right now. But the lesson learned is you don't want to use exchanges with little volume. So thankfully, I don't primarily use Kraken. It was just one of the exchanges that I had an open position on. And of course, that ended up getting liquidated. I made back that position, of course, with our Ethereum trade, as I mentioned yesterday. But the lesson of that is you want to trade coins that have volume. How do you know if a coin has volume? Well, understand this. There's two types of traders. There's two types of investors. Some have a large amount of capital. So I'll say this to you guys. If you're trading more than 6 figures in capital, you have a little bit of a different game plan than somebody that's trading less than 6 figures in capital, right? So for those trading over 6 figures in capital, what you'll want to watch, let me go ahead and turn on dark mode for you guys, because I know some of you guys get blinded from the white light here. Where is the dark mode now on CoinMarketCap? I thought it was very, very easy to go dark, but apparently not, right? So the main thing I want you guys to realize, all right, screw it. So how do you know if it has volume? Well, let's say number one, so you're either trading over 6 figures or less than 6 figures, right? If you're trading over 6 figures, you want to ensure that you're trading a pairing that has a lot of volume, and you always want to make sure that it's a large cap coin. And I would say large cap at this point, in my opinion, is over $1 billion, but really I would only be trading with large amounts of capital, like 6 figures, if it's over 10 billion, if not only Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Because when you have that much capital, you're bringing a lot of volume to the plate. You don't want to, you don't want bots and algos stopping you out, right? But if you're trading less than 100,000 in capital, you want to find, let's say you want to trade the graph, right? A lot of people have been talking about the graph as an altcoin recently. Well, and this also applies to those trading over 6 figures. If you go to the graph, what you'll want to do is go to the CoinMarketCap chart, come down here to the graph markets, and see where the volume is. You can see with the graph, majority of volume right now is with Coinbase Pro. Second highest volume, Binance, right? You can even see the liquidity factor here. They give you a rating from 0 to 1,000, right? And so these are all very low liquidity ratings. This is under 300. That's why if you have 6 figures, you don't want to come in on Coinbase Pro and market order 6 figures on a coin that has 255 liquidity on CoinMarketCap with only 347 million in volume, right? That's very different than something like Bitcoin that has a lot more volume. As you can see, the highest exchange volume right here is 8 billion, right? And that's on Binance. And so, and the liquidity factor is 826. So the liquidity factor, it gets very, very low very quick with some of these coins, because we're in a very small market. It's only a $1.53 trillion market that we're in right now, right? And so gold at 22 trillion, or traditional markets, which are 80 to 100 trillion, this market is very small compared to those. And so you have to be very careful. So the best way to do it is before you trade a coin, come onto the exchange. Like, even if you're doing a stable coin, you sometimes don't, like if I wanted to buy some DAI, I don't want to go to an exchange that doesn't have volume to buy even a stable coin, because you'll get a worse off price, right? So you come to DAI, you can see Uniswap has the most volume right now. That's probably where you'd want to go, right? 894 liquidity factor. Coinbase Pro isn't that bad, but Binance is kind of bad for DAI. But that's the ETH DAI pairing. And so that's the lesson there. I hope that helps a little bit, understanding volume. But one thing that I am monitoring very closely is the Bitcoin transactions per day. Check this out. So when we look at what's happening to the Bitcoin transactions per day right now, this is a fundamental factor for Bitcoin, and fundamentals are just as important as technicals. You can see we're seeing kind of a slowdown here, nothing crazy to worry about, but we're not necessarily seeing like an increase in transactions for Bitcoin right now. you know, typically at the start of bull markets, you'll typically see a rise in transactions, and throughout the bull market, you'll see that increase. But right now, we're just kind of seeing it stagnate and consolidate. So to me, that says that Bitcoin at this point is really trying to discover its price and consolidate in that area. I don't know if we'll see a top just yet, but once again, the confirmation of a top for Bitcoin is going to be a break of the previous all-time high at 41,950. That would be a potential confirmation of a top. Right now, we just have a local top, which means we could consolidate here and then continue to the upside. But if that's the case and we are going to continue to the upside, we want to stay above 44,800. Let's look at the 4-hour Ichimoku right now. You can see we're coming up towards this, but we have this resistance as well. And so this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And I think Ethereum is about to hit our second target, so I might need to get off here and take some profits from this trade, because at 1675 I did want to take some profits from that trade. But I will wrap this live stream up here soon, and I will give away a book at the end of this live stream to one of you guys watching. All you have to do is be in the chat and I'll pick somebody. Pretty easy, right? So let's check the Fed's balance sheets. This is the federal bank's balance sheets. Let's look at what's going on here. So we look at the let's see, European Central Bank. They just far surpassed every other bank printing money. They've got 8.5 trillion now. You can see the Feds have slowly printed more money. The People's Bank of China just started finally printing money at 6 trillion right now in assets. Very interesting here, because the People's Bank of China waited quite a while to print in comparison to the Federal Bank, the European Central Bank, the Bank of Japan. And so very interesting to see what's happening here when it comes to money printing. But you can see that money printing has continued, and it is on the incline right now. And so we do want to monitor that. We look at the crypto fear and greed index. What you'll notice here is we are at extreme greed. And last month we were only at greed. And so for the last week and yesterday and right now, we are at extreme greed. This was right around 90 though. Yesterday, yeah, it looks 94. So it is coming down a bit. That is a positive sign there. And so some of these fundamentals are very, very important to watch there. Let's see. Do we have any other questions from the live audience, or we'll go ahead and wrap up this live stream? Let's see. Michael Saylor. What did they say about Michael Saylor? He says, let's see. Michael Saylor, buy his Bitcoin. Yeah, did you guys hear that Michael Saylor was going to do like what? Buy like $2,000 or 2,000 Bitcoin or something every minute? Or I heard some crazy rumor. Chris Cost says, now you remember when you were all scared when BTC was 9,000, you were selling, I bet, and maybe you rebought IDKLO? I actually don't know what you're talking about. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, were you making videos during the bear market? I was actually making videos during the bear market. I was only making videos during the bear market. I didn't make videos in the bull market because I was hanging out with the founder of Cardano, Charles, and Brock, the founder of EOS and Blockchain Capital. And, I was doing a lot of very important roles. I was acting upon some very important roles that I have as an advisor to a lot of these people. But I actually made videos almost every day during the bear market. Matter of fact, I went live every single day during the bear market. And you guys know I'm here in the bear market. YouTube is my way of serving, and when I have the chance, I love to serve, and so I'm glad I'm able to be on here with you guys. Let's see if we have any other questions. Let's see. What are your thoughts on physical silver, Jeff? I think silver is doing fine. We look at Zao, right? So we are seeing some strength in gold right now as we start to see traditional markets dip and Bitcoin dip. That is a sign of uncertainty within investors. However, overall, I think that gold is in a very bullish flag that's going to break out. I don't see it coming down and breaking this. If that happens, that would be very surprising. And I think silver could see even more strength than gold, being the fact that it's even more bullish and it's already broken out of its flag. And of course, we had this Wall Street bets pump, and that brought a lot of attention to silver. So I think silver is a great buy. I think gold is a great buy. Very interesting chart. If we look at ETH against gold, notice this. We pull up Zao against ETH. Very different story than what happened to gold against Bitcoin. So with gold against Ethereum, this red line that I have here was the previous bottom of the value of gold against Ethereum in the 2017 and 18 bull market, right? And we recently did break that when Bitcoin, reached its all-time high and Ethereum reached $2,000 US. However, we saw a sharp reversal on this chart, right? And this was actually one of the charts we used to predict the Ethereum breakout to 2000, which we predicted on the exact dot. But you can see we've reversed to the upside, and that's very different than what happened when gold broke its price against, or when Bitcoin broke its price against gold. You'll notice this was the same red line that we had drawn out for Ethereum against gold. And you can see when Bitcoin broke, it went straight down like a knife, slicing right through. Matter of fact, when we go to the shorter time frames, you can see we actually never came back above it after we broke, right? Ethereum is doing the complete opposite at this point. Ethereum is also retesting its previous all-time high, which Bitcoin didn't do. And so I think that's food for thought to keep in mind there about the prices of Ethereum and Bitcoin, as well as the comparison of the two assets against gold. Tuan says digital silver is better than silver. I do not agree with that. I would not hold your money in a silver ETF and act like you own silver. The point of having precious metals is it's an insurance policy against a corrupt Federal Reserve, right? And so you have to understand that. Man, I feel like I'm like with you guys. Like I can like grab the camera. I can like this is really cool. Man, it's been a while since we've been live. This is really, really awesome. Oh man, I may have messed up the camera now. Oh man, that's not good. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I did actually just mess up the camera. Typical Naeem. I'm gonna give away a book to one of you guys, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this live stream. Let's go ahead and fix this. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let's give away a book. So I'll give away one more book. And thank you, John. I appreciate the super chat. Let's see. Brent Patnet says, nice setup. You want a book, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram, and I will go ahead and get you that book. The link is in the description below. Let's take one more question from the audience, and we'll go from there. Would you hold more ETC or BTC for someone new in the game? Well, number one, Cody, Ethereum Classic is not something you want to hold, but I think you're referring to ETH. And what I would say is, if you're new in the game, you always want to have Bitcoin as the majority of your portfolio because it is the big dog in this market right now. Is it the time to enter Bitcoin? I think that bottom that we saw was a good time, but I would hold off just yet. I would always just dollar cost average, of course, but if you're asking me about a swing trade, you got to understand there's three different ways to approach this, right? Number one is a swing trader, number two is a day trader, and number three is a long-term investor. You always want to keep those three portfolios separate, and you always want to have all three of those portfolios, right? I mean, you might not want the day trading one if you don't want to day trade, but you want to have a swing trading portfolio and you want to have a long-term hodl portfolio, right? And with the long-term hodl portfolio, you never want to get rid of. Let's see here. All right, well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciated this live stream, remember to smash the like button, and I will see you guys on a video tomorrow, not a live stream. I just wanted to make sure to give you guys a live stream while I could and test this out a little bit. But I see already 219 likes. Thank you all so much. Very excited. And for a conclusion, remember, with Bitcoin right now, the major levels that I'm watching on this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud is I want to see us get not only above the 4-hour Ichimoku, but above the resistance here. And it's actually showing very nice confluence with the 50-period moving average on the 4-hour chart. If we get above that, that could show a continuation to the upside, or at least form a lower high and maybe even a higher high. But I think that the weekly open would reject for Bitcoin if we were to come up to that level, just because of the fact that it would make sense for that to reject. So, when it does come up, watch that weekly open at 57,350. If we reject there, that could be the start of a consolidation phase. If I were to kind of, just draw random lines, I would expect something like this in a healthy consolidation. For an unhealthy consolidation, I would expect something and that could potentially show a top. For a continuation, I would want to see something like this. And when we come up here, we have to be careful if that happens on whether or not it's just a higher high where we do that, or if it's an actual breakout, right? And so we'll monitor that. Of course, if you're subscribed to the channel, I post daily updates for you guys. And with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. I think we went maybe over an hour or so. And with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into this live stream. Tony, Brent, Anthony, GoPro, Twan, good to have you guys. Thank you for being on this live stream, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.